So moving on to issues of the communications portfolio. Again, as I said, this exposes the utter incompetence of this minister and this government, including decisions made by the now Prime Minister when he was Communications Minister, decisions he made which are now coming home to roost, making wrong decisions in terms of technology choice, making false assumptions on the basis of finances, simply getting it wrong in every step of the way. I note that in a speech to Comms Day in April this year, Minister Fifield declared 2017 to be the year of the customer. The year of the customer, Mr Deputy Speaker. Well, what does it say? That in debates in the Parliament towards the end of last year on the issue of the NBN and on the issue of the long-term interests of end users, barely a member of the government benches could summons the understanding of the poor consumer experience that is currently going on in relation to this failed network, this multi-technology mix, which is delivering nothing but stuff up after stuff up for consumers. And you don't need to take it from me because the facts are these. TIO complaints about NBN faults soared by almost 150% over the 2015-16 period, and complaints about slow speeds, specifically slow speeds, increased by nearly 50%. 7 of the top 10 postcodes for TIO complaints about the NBN during this period were for areas, what a surprise, served by fibre to the node. So the Prime Minister's choice of technology, copper, for which he has purchased 15 million metres on his watch, that technology of choice, surprise, surprise, is delivering such a high level of complaints that have never been seen before. The TIO has subsequently advised the NBN Joint Standing Committee that the total complaints in the telco sector are projected to reach 150,000 for the 2016-17 period. And if this projection materialises, it is outstanding because it will reverse years of progress that the sector has made towards a focus on consumers and reducing complaints in the sector. In December 2016, just a few days before Christmas, it is notable that the government stripped information from the NBN website about what technology households and small businesses would be connected with. And the reasons offered for this were that consumers apparently don't care about what technology, about what they're going to get. And after being called out on this underhand act, the NBN website was amazingly updated within a few weeks and the technology information became available. So it is notable that this government, on its watch, has failed consumers, has suddenly discovered consumers now, because I suggest, and I'm quite sure I would not be wrong, and I'm sure the member for Longman would support me on this, complaints to our officers about the poor quality of this government's broadband are the number one, for me, the number one unsolicited complaint that I receive as a local member. And it is interesting, Mr Deputy Speaker, that the ACCC gave evidence to the NBN Joint Standing Committee that it first proposed a 4-year broadband monitoring and reporting program. So this is the government solution. So it will have a broadband monitoring program, bearing in mind that here we are in end of May 2017. It first proposed a 4-year broadband monitoring and reporting program in the week commencing the 15th of February 2016. 2016, so over a year ago. What has this minister been doing? It's gone into the Fifield triangle, this void into which every important decision is simply sucked and then spat out in the most underhanded way. So why has it taken 15 months to get this speed monitoring trial underway? Where were consumers being the top priority for this government until all of a sudden it discovered that it had a problem? And further, the $7 million in funding allocated for the speed monitoring program over the forward estimates is not funding from government. That's not funding from government at all. It's the telco sector that's being made to pay for it. And of course, they're not going to pass it on to any consumers, are they? So if the government itself never had any intention of funding this monitoring program from consolidated revenue, why did it take so long to get up and running? And I would end on this point, just on this topic of consumers. On the 7th of April 2017, so only recently, the ACCC issued a media statement in response to the government's announcement that it will fund the speed monitoring scheme. And the release stated, and I quote, After appointing a qualified tested provider, the ACCC will commence the program in May 2017. May 2017, not long to go, and what a surprise, the ACCC has only just issued its tender documents this very afternoon. Not meeting the deadline, and I don't blame the regulator. It can only take so much direction. I blame this minister. I blame this hapless minister and his predecessor for putting us in a position where consumers are treated at the bottom of the food chain.